everybody. All right, we're working on cutting some of this soap up that we've made. I have gotten a crack. I don't like it. It's right there. Can you see it? It's just a little bitty crack. That's from wiggling around too much after I made it. Probably when I was peeking on it because I was so curious. But it is beautiful. See how pretty it is? That is so pretty. And so I have a crack. Remember, we always have to wear our gloves. This soap is still dangerous at this point. So, safety first. Alright, so this is the red wine fragrance that Essential Depot has. I like it. Now let's see what this smells like. Well, right now, it smells good. Alright, so we're going to turn it upside down and gently push the silicone mold out. Sometimes they'll hang on the corner of the basket. Yep, there it went. Plop. And that's the Essential Depot basket. And this is the Essential Depot silicone mold. I think this was the first one I made. And it didn't separate well from the sides. And that's probably because it was the first one I made. And I'm so used to hot process soap where you don't have to clean the sides perfectly because it's much firmer when you bring it out of the mold, and you can just pop that off later. So I forgot to tell you to clean your edges, you know, really, really good, and then wipe up the inside with a paper towel. I don't know, that may cause us problems. Let me bring it over and let me show it to you. This was my first one, and I was much messier with that. And so we have soap on the sides. We have it very heavily on this side. And as this soap comes out, this may cause me it to drag. So I'm going to take it over to the garbage can, and I'm going to try to take and get rid of some of that. Okay, so as you might can notice the difference, I have cleaned up the edges a little bit so that maybe we won't have a drag as the soap exited the mold. And this one exited quite easily. And it looks quite pretty to me. It didn't have any damage, I don't think, on that side, but on this side I got a little bit of damage from that soap on the lip, but I'm just rubbing it with my glove, and it seems to have solved the problem predominantly. And this soap seems to be very soft at the moment. Maybe just a touch softer than the olive oil and coconut oil and the lard. There she goes. I like that. And now this is a way to just add natural colorants directly to the bar. And I believe that this was alkanet root. Yes, alkanet root added directly to glycerin. So now we're going to take the heel of our hand. Remember, this soap is very easily damaged at this age. It's like a newborn baby. And so we're going to break it back from the machine. Oh, and it's really quite pretty. I'm sort of fond of that. Look what I did. Just look what I did. That's just downright exciting, isn't it? And I have still some of these, the same variations. So maybe some of the seasoned cold processed soapers can help me so that then I can share with you what we need to do to correct that. Because that's what this is all about, teaching teaching new people how to make cold processed soap. So I'm really tickled about the designs. I want to show you a couple more bars. Isn't that pretty? I'm sort of excited about that. I really am. They're my new babies. And as I showed you, you can pat all the way around it on the corners, because there'll be just a touch of drag from any cutter situation, and that shapes it back up. You can also take a potato peeler to it and trim lightly the edges once it's cured. And we're going to leave this on the shelf for 4 to 6 weeks. All right. Isn't that pretty? I think possibly if I had have put the alkanet root in the glycerin, I notice a lot of cold processed soapers use what you might call picnic ketchup and mustard containers that you can just squirt, you know, to mix their colorants in ahead of time. So possibly if I had have done that, that would have caused me to not have a grainy appearance in the color. That's a new thing we're learning as we go along. Isn't that pretty? I did notice, not on this one, but on this last one, because I didn't clean my sides up well before I left it alone, that we've got a little bit of some raisedness. So I'm going to take and lightly cut that off with a knife, and then just take my finger and smooth it out. We've got the same problem right here. So I'm going to lightly take that off now while it's nice and easy. And so now that bar looks really nice, and it doesn't have that odd appearance. This one here has just a little bit as well. And so I'm just going to take and lightly take that off and shape it up. There we go. Now it's just as if it never was. And let's see how it smells. Oh, that red wine is awesome. I hope it holds up well to the lye. One of the things I've never been too fond of cold processed soap is that the lye eats on the fragrance for a week or so on the curing rack. So we're going to be sure to leave this on the curing rack for 4 to 6 weeks. After about 2.5 weeks, it should be lye dead. But 4 to 6 weeks before we would truly use it. Alright, so with my gloves on, this is not safe to wash your hands with at the moment. We're going to see what kind of bubbles we got and if our foam is colored by the alkanet. Oh yeah, this is going to be a really good recipe with foam. Let me put a little extra water there, and you can see the bubbles forming. This is going to be very, very lathering, and I bet it's going to feel awesome in the shower. So I'm really fond of this. Alright, so now I'm going to get rid of all of this so I don't get burned by lye, and throw that in the garbage. Okay, let me think if there was anything else I needed to tell you. Cure 4 to 6 weeks, possibly less grainy appearance in the colorant if I had put the colorant in glycerin ahead of time and let it marinate, you might say, and it was just stock ready to pull off the shelf. We'll try that in some future videos and see how that works. Cure 4 to 6 weeks. It is dangerous at this point. Wear gloves every time you touch it until it's about 2.5 weeks old. Don't be tempted to use it ahead of time. All right. So, oh yes, I was going to talk to you about cleaning the cutter. In between soaps, you can take a paper towel. Remember that we are touching stuff that is lye heavy, but I'm not touching it, the paper towel is, so I'll throw this paper towel away immediately after I'm finished. We're just going to rub the cutter between our fingers and the paper towel, and then just go over the cutter this way too, to remove any excess that would blend over to the next soap when it's being cut. All right. I'm just going to leave it like I like it. Open it out of the way. I loosened the screws on this thing so that I could do that. So let me put that in my garbage pile. All right. So, okay, everybody. That is the last soap in the hot, or soaping hot series. Next, we're going to start soaping cool, or room temperature. All right. So, please subscribe. Please leave me some comments. Hello, Kitty Kitty. Are you invading the video with your meows? She is. And please, thank you for watching my commercials. And thank you for using my Essential Depot link, which is in the bottom of the videos. And thank you so much for helping me out by joining me as a patron. And I am now wanting to remind you that this is a video series, okay? And there'll be one will post out every day, but you may have hit it in the middle. So make sure you go to the first video and work your way through them. All right, bye everybody.